Don't spoil your appetite, and don't spoil a good story. Let's disobey both of those rules, shall we? Because the popular origins behind your favorite snack foods might be a little bit dubious. Prepare yourself. Junk food myths get deep, fat, fried. Deep, fat, fried. Oh, yeah.
Myths.
Yeah, myths about junk food.
Like, the myths like it's like healthy for you or something?
No, just weird. So here's, for instance, here's potato chips, right?
Humble potato chip.
Who doesn't love a goddamn potato chip? Do you like a potato chip, Scotty?
Fuck yeah, dude. I love potato chips.
How you feel about them potato chips, Paul? You look like you're kind of like, meh.
I want to put my dick in a bag of potato chips and fuck it right now, TJ, looking at this picture.
Oh, yeah. You like that? You like your fucking greasy potato chip cock?
I like sour cream and onion. You know what I mean? But I like
that
to
is the
provide my
third
own
most
sour
popular
cream.
flavor.
TJ, what's your favorite potato chip?
I like salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar.
Which is not even in the top three.
Dude, do you provide your own salt and vinegar, though, TJ? Because I provide my own sour cream. I just get onions.
I get what you, because the dick thing, yeah.
No, I love barbecue. I love all those too. Sour cream. Not Paul's sour cream, though. Sorry.
There are conflicting origin stories of the humble potato chip. Origin number 1. This man...
Gentleman.
You know what, dude? This one's bullshit off tops because I know that dude did not invent the potato chip. No way.
Poppycock.
This is William Kitchener, who lived from 1775 to 1827. He was an optician, a maker of telescopes, and a chef of some renown. He wrote this book, The Cook's Oracle, instituted in the kitchen of William Kitchener, MD. He was not really an MD, by the way.
MD.
He claimed to be an MD. He was not actually an MD. He was actually just a rich kid who lived off of daddy's money, and so he could do whatever he pretty much wanted to. So he went around calling himself a doctor. He made telescopes. But he was best known probably amongst his circle of friends and stuff as being really fucking good in the kitchen. Because he has the name Kitchener, so you got to be good in the kitchen, right? So in 1817, he published this book. It was a best-selling book among the select few literate people that existed back then. Contained in that book was a recipe for potatoes fried in slices. According to many, this is the earliest known recipe for potato chips. Now, but it is argued, like, is this really a potato chip? Because it's cut a little thick for a potato chip. It's cut the thickness of a 2-penny piece, much thicker than today's potato chips, right?
Right. So that's gonna be more like a scalloped potato at the end of it.
Well, here's what the recipe is: peel large potatoes, slice them the thickness of a 2-penny piece, dry them well in a clean cloth, flour them, and fry them in lard.
Yeah,
Take care that your lard and frying pan are quite clean. Put it on a quick fire. Watch it. As soon as it boils and the lard is still, put in the slices of potato and keep moving them till they are crisp. Take them up and lay them to drain on a sieve. Send them up with very little salt sprinkled over them. So in another version of this, he does batter them in flour.
There's not a that's not a potato chip. You don't batter a fucking potato chip.
It is the origin
of
the potato chip, gentlemen.
But is this a lot of people consider this the earliest precursor to what was the potato chip?
Well, this is documented too, though. So we know that this actually exists, which is different.
Now, future recipes, the reason it's considered that is because future recipes that built on this recipe kind of seem to have led to what became the potato chip. But this is but one origin of the potato chip. And it's not a very interesting one. It's just some guy you can batter up potatoes, deep fry them till they're crispy.
Boring.
You can do that. The other origin of the potato chip, this is origin number 2.
And the true origin, in my opinion.
This is George Speck, better known as George Crumb, a famous New York chef who honed his skills at Moon's Lake House, a restaurant that once existed in Saratoga Springs, New York. So Crumb later left to start his own restaurant in Malta, New York, where he charged high prices and attracted very wealthy clientele.
Smart man.
But this doesn't really have to do with that because the story takes place when he was still working at the at Moon's Lake House. So this is Moon's Lake House, popular dining spot for rich people vacationing in Saratoga Springs. So one day he was working there. He found himself vexed by an extraordinarily difficult customer who kept everything was wrong, right? Customer kept sending back his French fried potatoes, complaining they're too thick. Too soggy. They're not salty enough. Just kept sending them back to the kitchen over and over again. Finally, in a moment of frustration, George Speck here is like, you know what? He gets sarcastic about it. He decides, I'm going to slice this potato as thin as I could possibly fucking slice it. I'm going to fry it until it's fucking to a crisp. And then afterwards, I'm going to douse it in fucking salt. And let's see how this bitch likes that. Well, it turned out the bitch liked that quite a bit. And before you knew it, more and more people were, what's that? Send some of those to my table, And thus, the Saratoga chip was born.
This is there's no batter. This is an actual chip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thin sliced
Delicious.
potato, deep fried till it's super bubbled and crisp, doused in salt. This is the chip.
This is a beautiful thing here.
The Saratoga chips carry on as a brand to this day. You can even see that when they look at the story, they actually have the story I just told you.
Look at a mob of people in celebration of the Saratoga chip.
Yeah. Now, there is yet another origin story. I don't actually have it written down, but there is a story that says that his George Crumb's sister actually just accidentally dropped a slice of potato into some boiling oil. Kind of forgot about it for a minute, pulled it out later.
I'm such a child that when you started to say dropped, I thought you were going to say dropped a shit or dropped a turd into the oil or something.
No, just a potato, Paul. We're talking about potatoes right now.
She dropped a turd.
And George came along and was like, what's this? And ate it and was like, pretty good. Maybe we should build on this. But yeah, I mean, it's generally thought to have the potato chip as we know it today, the kettle chip at least, the Saratoga chip. That's pretty much the precursor for modern potato chips. It does seem to have originated from this area, probably from that restaurant.
Is that the feminist retelling of the story where the wife accidentally made the potato chip?
It was his sister who also worked in the kitchen.
She's whatever, dude.
Sour grapes, dude.
Could be. So in some versions of the legend, it was actually the unsatisfied customer that was constantly sending back his fried potatoes was Cornelius Vanderbilt.
Oh, dude, fucking scumbag capitalist if there ever was one.
Now, it is known that Cornelius Vanderbilt did frequent George Crumb's later restaurant, the one in Malta, New York, which was just called Crumb's, I think. So Cornelius Vanderbilt did go to that restaurant quite often. George Crumb was actually pretty well known for not showing any preferential treatment to Cornelius Vanderbilt just because he was super rich compared to everyone else there. He catered to a higher echelon of clientele, but he didn't give special treatment to Cornelius Vanderbilt. It was reported that Cornelius Vanderbilt had to wait an hour and a half for a meal there once. Because George Crumb was a Native American or had some Native American blood and had a very fucking He had his own way of doing things, basically. He wasn't going to make special exceptions for any.
He was like
buddy.
that one dude. I watched a documentary about him. It was in New York City. Like he wouldn't no tables with more than 4 parties. You know that guy I'm talking about? TJ?
Yeah, the guy from I Like to Kill Flies.
Yeah, that dude.
That documentary.
It just doesn't matter who the fuck you are. Everyone's getting treated exactly the same. I like that about him.
But by the time this story is alleged to have happened, recipes for dishes that are at least very similar to the potato chip had already appeared in several cookbooks. So, it's more than likely that this chip was just another derivative from the Kitchener recipe.
It's an interesting apocryphal tale that, it probably his place might have popularized it enough with people where it's like, hey, you hear about this new thing? When it really wasn't new. It was just that it hadn't caught on yet.
Yeah. But the Saratoga chip definitely is its own unique chip and probably is more of a basis for modern chips than the Kitchener recipe that we looked over earlier. What about a batch of chocolate chip cookies, y'all?
Oh, give me some of those now.
So it's difficult to imagine that chocolate chip cookies, one of the world's most beloved sweet treats, was actually invented by accident. Whoops. Accidentally invented chocolate chip cookies.
How do you?
What?
I don't know if I believe
fucking
that.
way,
Come on.
bro.
Whoops! Chocolate chip cookies, everybody.
Whoopsie dupsie. The invention of the chocolate chip cookie happened in 1930 when Ruth Graves Wakefield and her husband Kenneth were running the Toll House Inn on Route 18 near Whitman, Massachusetts. Here's the Toll House. Garden weddings, dinners, function facilities. Tuesday through Saturday. Just a little restaurant called the Toll House. So one night, Ruth decided to whip up a batch of chocolate chip butter drop dew cookies, a popular old colonial recipe, to serve to her guests. But as she started to bake, Ruth discovered she was out of baker's chocolate. Ruth then chopped up a block of Nestle semi-sweet chocolate that had been given to her by Andrew Nestle of the Nestle Company. Ruth had expected the chocolate to melt and disperse throughout the cookie, basically create a little chocolate cookie. But instead, the chocolate pieces retained their individual form, softening to a moist, gooey melt, and the world had its first chocolate chip cookie.
This is a PR story. Give me a fucking break,
It sounds like, yeah, dude, I'm listening, and my eyebrow just keeps getting higher and higher.
Well, it wasn't a PR story because someone, I don't know where the origin of this story is, but you were right in identifying it as bullshit.
Wow.
Unfortunately for the thousands of websites that I can find that still publish this charming little story, it is absolutely not true.
It doesn't sound it at all.
So Ruth Wakefield, she ran a restaurant and she was actually a pretty accomplished baker. The idea that she didn't know how chocolate works, pretty insulting.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like you wouldn't do this on accident. This is like her experimenting and going like, okay, let's try this.
She was in her kitchen working on some kind of new cookie, and this is what she came up with. Here's a quote from her in an interview from the time. She said, we had been serving a thin butterscotch nut cookie with ice cream. Everybody seemed to love it, but I was trying to give them something different. So I came up with the Toll House cookie. She added chopped up bits from Nestle semi-sweet chocolate bar into her cookie. The original recipe of Toll House tried and true recipe in this book here, her Toll House tried and true recipes that she published, is called Toll House Chocolate Crunch Cookies.
Weird, because I've never heard anyone call it a chocolate crunch cookie.
Well, obviously her name didn't catch on, but if you look at the recipe, it is unmistakably a chocolate chip cookie recipe. Yeah. Here it is. And honestly, I make chocolate chip cookies pretty often. And the recipe I use is not altogether different from this original recipe.
No, this is pretty much... Well, you know what? A lot of people don't use chopped nuts.
Yeah, most chocolate chip cookies today don't use nuts. Some do.
Yeah, I've definitely had some.
But, most don't at this point. It's kind of not really necessary. 1 cup butter.
Yeah.
Which is basically 2 sticks of butter. 3/4 cup brown sugar. 3/4 cup granulated sugar. 2 eggs. Teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of hot water mixed with I think mixed with the baking soda, honestly. 2 1/4 cup flour sifted. Salt, chopped nuts. The only thing I probably wouldn't do. A bunch of bars of Nestle yellow label semi-sweet chocolate has been cut into pieces. Cut into pieces the size of. You don't have to do that anymore. Now you can actually just buy chocolate chips.
Right.
But at the time, she had to actually sit there and chop up the chocolate. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is basically
Chocolate
bake
chip
at 375. This is basically what you would do now. Like the recipes that I have for a chocolate chip cookies, other than nuts not being in it, and there's no stupid mix hot water with whatever the fuck. But other than that, this is basically the recipe for chocolate chip cookies. So yeah, I mean, she invented this shit.
Sure.
It wasn't a fucking accident. I don't know. Maybe this was like an anti-feminist narrative. People didn't want to fucking credit her for actually inventing these things. They're just like, well, some dumb broad on accident, she thought it was going to just melt and make a chocolate cookie because she's a fucking dumbass.
I just think it sounds like a more interesting story. It's like, Eureka, you invented it. When if you actually look at the history, she wrote a book and she put the recipe in a book. It's not really like some crazy thing that happened. She was clearly a talented baker and was like, hey, let's try this. And she invented what's one of the most popular cookies in the world.
It is the most well, it's probably the most popular cookie in the world. I know Oreos outsells but like we're talking about like a fresh baked cookie here. You can't fresh bake a fucking Oreo. I'm just like,
well, you could.
I'm taking out a batch of fresh baked Oreos.
But I've never heard of anyone really. I mean, people do, but I haven't really heard of people. Most people just buy Oreos.
I ain't never heard of no one doing that. Scotty.
You could bake some Oreos though.
No, you can't, Scotty.
Well, how do they
take it
made
back.
then, TJ?
Take it back.
Fuck you, TJ.
Take it back, Scotty. Take it back.
I'm not gonna take it back.
I'm not moving on till you take it back.
I don't care.
I'm not moving on till you take it back, Scotty.
I won't.
Take it back.
No.
Take it back.
No.
Take it back, Scotty.
No.
Take it back.
Stop, TJ.
Take
You're
it back.
assaulting me now, TJ.
Take it back.
Battery, TJ.
All right, fine. But a nice, refreshing glass pink lemonade.
Oh, shit, man. This
I'm a
right
little
here.
thirsty.
Every time that this is offered at a restaurant or an establishment, I order it. Pink
so you
lemonade,
like pink lemonade?
Pink lemonade is my tip top.
You like it better than regular lemonade?
Yes.
Pink lemonade.
It's fucking good as fuck, dude.
Pink lemonade.
It's a fancier lemonade, too. If you go to a place and they're like, we have lemonade. We also have a special pink lemonade. You're like, I will take the pink lemonade.
You pay a premium, too. The lemonade is $8 a glass. The pink lemonade is $8.75.
Pink lemonade. All that delicious lemonade goodness. But pink, for some reason. Pink lemonade is sometimes colored with cranberry juice, raspberry juice, or crushed strawberries. More often, it's just colored with red food dye. There are 2 origin stories for pink lemonade. And both of them take place at the circus. I don't have actual pictures for these guys, so I just picked pictures of what I thought they would maybe look like.
Okay.
So origin story number 1. There was a salesman by the name of Pete Conklin who sold concessions at the circus. When working a shift in 1857, he ran out of water to make his lemonade, but he had no access to a well or spring. Rather than lose out on business, Pete sprinted into the dressing room tent and came across Fanny Jamieson, one of the show's bareback riders. She had just cleaned her pink tights in a vat of water, leaving the liquid looking a deep pink hue. He used the water without a second thought and sold it as fine strawberry lemonade.
What the fuck, dude?
It's reported that he did double the business of ordinary refreshment and allegedly ushered in a new style of drink.
Yes. Yes.
So this is an American tale right here.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I love it.
This is so just, fucking greedy, enterprising, capitalistic circus show guy, salesman. Like, I got no fucking... See some fucking disgusting, dirty bath water. A wash tub with some pink tights in it. It's like,
I don't... Well, see,
strawberry.
I'm not sure they were necessarily pink tights. It might have been a certain time of month or something.
Yeah, that's true. Could have been a menstrual cycle, Scotty. Scotty's right.
Menstrual lemonade, dude.
Bring it to that. Scotty's just like, that's not disgusting enough for me. No.
It was period blood for sure.
It was, clearly.
There's period blood in that damn lemonade. All right. Origin story number 2. Once again, I did not find actual pictures of these guys. The second claim to pink lemonade fame is also the result of a lemonade mishap. According to a 1912 New York Times article, Henry E. Ollett, a circus performer, saloon keeper, and gambler, was the originator of this drink. One day, while mixing a tub full of orthodox yellow lemonade, he dropped some red cinnamon candles in by mistake.
Candles?
Candles. The resulting rose-tinted mixture sold so surprisingly well that he continued to dispense his chance discovery.
It says candies.
Candies? Oh, yeah, you're right, candies.
Candles, you fucking dork.
I'm like, whatever. Candle make it...
That's like a huge... That's not whatever. That's a huge discrepancy.
Candies, then. What do you want?
It was candles.
Candles, candies, same fucking
lemonade
difference.
Mixed with red candle mixed pink lemonade.
You know, I did this
whole red candles.
Yeah. Dude, I did this whole episode's research and shit. The whole time I'm like, candles, 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 candles.
Damn.
I must have read over this like 50 times, so there's no excuse. But I guess so since we're running, I was hoping that this would kind of just fill the entire time of the episode, but it doesn't like it's going to. But luckily, I do have a backup. Paul, I want to tell you about the genuine, actual origin of one of your favorite fucking snacks. Do you know the story, Paul, of the Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
Kinda. I know a little bit about the apocryphal story of the Flaming Hot Cheetos.
It's not apocryphal. It is 100% true.
They are a delicious treat.
So this is how a janitor at Frito-Lay invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
God bless this man.
Richard Montanez went from cleaning toilets to being one of the most respected execs in the food industry. So it goes, I mean, this goes into his whole fucking life and shit, basically. But so he's fucking working as a janitor here at Frito-Lay. So I'll just start from here. By the mid-1980s, Frito-Lay had fallen on tough times. As a way to boost morale, then CEO Roger Enrico recorded a video message and disseminated it to the company's 300,000 employees. In the video, Enrico encouraged every worker at the company to act like an owner. Most employees brush it off as a management cliche. Montanez took it to heart. Here's my invitation. Here's the CEO telling me, the janitor, that I can act like an owner, he later recalled. I didn't know what I was going to do, didn't need to, but I knew I was going to act like an owner. After nearly a decade mopping floors, Montanez gathered the courage to ask one of the Frito-Lay salesmen if he could tag along and learn more about the process. They went to a convenience store in a Latino neighborhood, and while the salesman restocked inventory, Montanez made a fortuitous observation. I saw our products on the shelves and they were all plain. Lay's, Fritos, Ruffles, he recalls. And right next to these chips happened to be a shelf of Mexican spices. In that moment, he realized that Frito-Lay had nothing spicy or hot. Oh. A few weeks later, Montanez stopped at a local vendor to get some elote. Is that how that's pronounced? A Mexican street corn.
Yeah, you got it.
Doused in chili powder, salt, cotija, lime juice, and crema fresca. Cobb and a revelation struck. What if I put chili on a Cheeto? So when he gets this idea, he actually calls the CEO of the company as the janitor. I was naive, Montanez later said. I didn't know you weren't supposed to call the CEO. I didn't know the rules. Finding Roger Enrico's phone number was easy enough. It was listed in the company directory. He rang the line, was put through to the chief executive assistant. Mr. Enrico's office, who is this? Richard Montanez. What division are you with? California. You're the VP overseeing California? No, I work at Rancho Cucamonga plant. So you're the VP of operations? No, I work inside the plant. You're the plant manager? No, I'm the janitor. The assistant paused for what seemed like an eternity. One moment. Then a voice on the other end said, hello, this is Roger. Montanez told the CEO he'd heeded the call to action. He studied the company's products, identified a demand in the market, and even crafted his own rudimentary snacks in his kitchen. Enrico loved the ingenuity. He told the janitor he'd be at the plant in 2 weeks, asked him to prepare a presentation. So moments after Montanez hung up the phone, the plant manager stormed up to him and said, Who do you think you are? You're the janitor. Who let the janitor call the CEO? Then he said, you're doing this presentation. So basically, long story short, he shows up. He fucking preps his ass off. He fucking presents his product, the Flamin' Hot Cheeto, to these managers, to the fucking CEO, and to all the other big wigs of the company and shit. The CEO is like, I like the cut of your jib. Probably just really like the fact that this guy took his little bullshit, like, every employee need to do the bit. And like, you inspired me, sir. It's like, yeah, I inspired somebody. I'm great. I'm awesome.
This guy was smart.
He found a genuine fucking demand in the market. The fucking Flamin' Hot Cheeto, of course. They started testing the product here, as you can see. They started testing it in the small Latino markets in East Los Angeles. It performed well. So the company moved forward with the product.
God, it's so fucking good. Dude.
Oh, yeah, it's a staple now.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos, like, if I'm at like a shitty gas station, dude, it's when they always grab. It's like,
so at this point, today, Flamin' Hot Cheetos are one of Frito-Lay's hottest selling commodities, a multi-billion-dollar snack celebrated by everyone from Katy Perry to middle schoolers on meal vouchers, even a rap song about them. And Montana's is no longer sweeping floors. Over a 35-year career, the former janitor rose through the corporate ranks, is now the vice president of multicultural sales for PepsiCo America.
Damn.
The holding company of Frito-Lay. So, yeah, this is a real-life rags to riches story on the backs of the Flamin' Hot Cheeto.
I love it.
This show doesn't talk about heroes enough. This man is a hero.
There's
this
actually a movie, right?
Is there?
Yeah, there's a movie in development called Flaming Hot that is about this dude.
Let me look into that.
I fucking shit you not. I'm not joking. I don't know if it's in development hell or whatever, but I remember seeing that it was being made.
I see an article from 2019 says Flamin' Hot Cheeto movie to be directed by Eva Longoria.
Look at its IMDb.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try to find its IMDb page.
It's called Flamin' Hot.
It is.
In development, so maybe something that happens.
Let me tell you something. They should make this movie. This is the kind of fucking rags to riches American dream kind of story that fucking people in this country just eat the fuck up like
guy
Hot Cheetos.
Fucking mopping the floors at a factory for 10 years. Like, then he sees something with the CEO and like, you have like, dude, I can already see the scene. Yeah, whatever. I'm an owner of this company. I've worked here 25 years. Not so much that thank you. Fuck this company, basically. Then the guy will be like, no, I have a dream.
They'll make the CEO like a kindly guy, but everyone else in the fucking structure is going to be a total prick. Get back to work. Get back to work, janitor.
Oh, you know, it's going to be a scene. Got some overflowing toilet in there. Why don't you go clean that up?
I have an idea. Yeah, I got an idea too. Go clean that fucking toilet, you fucking piece of shit.
Loser.
That's pretty much all I got. So I feel like it's probably a little short on the time, but
damn, shame.
Fuck it. Whatever. I got what I got. Clicking out. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.